Hello, welcome to week 4. We're heading into the second half of Own Your Fire, our community road opener here. And I'm just going to drop in for a moment to touch base on that. And I'll also give a chance for people to show up if they're able to make it to the live. Otherwise, if you're here for the replay, welcome. You're all welcome. We're going to do something a little bit different today, but if you're not familiar with Own Your Fire, we've had a lot of new subscribers here, so welcome to all of you. I am an Ayurvedic practitioner. I'm moving into my metaphysical work at this time, but I did create a whole series of courses for Ayurveda called the Dosha Discovery Series, and I have it on my website, cobrasmedicinebag.com. And I am one by one opening up each of the Discovery series courses for the doshas as we hit the season for that dosha. So we already went through one round of this here as a community with the Kapha Reset course. That course is free and open and will remain open to the public. So you can always access that one, as well as the Own Your Fire course, which is the one we're moving through right now, which is for Pitta. Pitta season is summer season leading into early fall. And we are moving through these lessons one by one. It's all about bringing your fire forward and living from that place of emotional authenticity in the world. So this is a completely free course. There's nothing to sign up for, no email you have to provide, no login, nothing. All you have to do is just go to cobrasmedicinebag.com. Right there on the homepage at the top, you'll see the listing for the course. And if you just look beneath that, you'll see a red button that says free access here. Click it and you're right in the program. You're right in the course. You'll see a whole big write-up once you click that link about the general basis of the course, what you're going to learn about as you move through the course. And then underneath that is the table of contents. And you're meant to move through them one by one, week by week. You're welcome to go ahead and, take it at your own pace, all right? But we are moving through it as a unit this week. In week 4, we're all going through the lessons that are coming forward this week. And it's ironic because this week is all about structure. It's all about timing. It's all about schedules and practicalities and really getting those things dialed in so we can be most effective. And, for me personally, schedules are a little bit challenging. I'm kind of a go with the flow kind of person. I tend to do better at nighttime. I've been looking a little bit at chronotypes, and I'm definitely a wolf type. If you're not familiar with chronotypes, you might want to check out what it has to say there, because I felt like it was really in alignment with what we're focusing on this week, which is creating our own individual schedules, or what's known in Ayurveda as the Dinacharya. And chronotypes kind of outline things in a sense, much like Ayurveda, where there's different types. Not everybody. Oh, okay, this is interesting. This just popped out of the deck. Breakup. Okay, yeah, maybe we need to break up with this idea of having certain types. Interesting. All right, we're going to be doing a mystery read, so I have no idea what's going to come out today, but that's a message for the collective. Some of you might be in a process of like leaving one relationship, or maybe you've been single for a while. You've been thinking about your last breakup, how things went in that situation. You're trying to figure out, where you go from here. Are you even open to dating again? Are you open to opening up to the experience of love again? Are you ready to put your heart out there? You might be better off if you're kind of finding that you're not really connecting with anybody, questioning, if it might be time to open up your options by shaking up maybe what you usually go for. Maybe it's time to break up with this idea of having a type. How about it just feels right? It flows. It's good. It works for me. Why does it have to be a type? As soon as you put like a type around what you're looking for, then automatically you're kind of putting yourself in a box that doesn't really allow any room for growth, right? And what if your type has been the type that's continually led you to heartache, or has led you to like these negative experiences in love? and you've been processing this lately, you've been looking at your past relationships, well, it might be time to question that. Maybe it's time to, ditch the types and instead just get into the feeling of the experience, right? Interesting to come out right on the bat there like that. We are going to be doing a mystery read, okay? I just thought it would be kind of a funny, like, sort of like juxtaposition with a week where we're focusing so much on time and schedule and structure. Let's just play it loose with the read. I have no idea what's going to come out. We're going to do a mystery read. It's going to be a wild card read. I'm going to work with all my wild cards. And I'm going to find out what this read is about alongside all of you. But I think we already got a little bit of a hint of what's coming in. Again, if you are going to access the course, move through it at your own pace. And just enjoy the experience, okay? There's no right or wrong. Make it your own experience. And you might want to look into those chronotypes. The chronotypes can be very, very helpful. With maybe, developing your own dinacharya, your own daily schedule, and what works for you. I know that myself as a wolf type, I'm a night owl. I've been like that since I was a really little girl. I've always had that sleep pattern where I can't turn off the brain at night. That's when I feel my most creative. That's when I feel most alive. It's also my most restorative time. I think largely because the rest of the world is asleep. And it's pretty standard that throughout my life, even as a kid, I always had people kind of rely on me. And I was always the responsible one, the caregiver, the one who held everything down. So nighttime, everybody's asleep. And it finally gives me time to drop in and pour into myself. So, these are all things that I'm grappling with too. But I'll put a link and I'll pin it in the comments for chronotypes. You might want to look into it and see what your type is, experiment with that schedule that they outline there, just to kind of get your sleep schedule stabilized. It also shows you like what are the best times of day to focus on certain things, which is actually very much in harmony with Ayurveda. But it's interesting to me because I haven't seen in Ayurveda them really breaking down sleep schedules to that extent for the different dosha types. They do let you know that, it's wise to get up earlier. You want to try to get up, with the sunrise so you don't go too much into the kapha period, which can make you kind of sluggish when you're trying to get up in the morning. But that's all well and good. But what if you're somebody that you just can't fall asleep until like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning? What if you've been dealing with insomnia? It's kind of like we have to look at where we're at and work from there. So I think the chronotypes might be something really beneficial to bring in this week for those of you who are moving through this experience. And even if you're not doing the road opener, you might want to drop in with that and just kind of like try it on for size, experiment with it. Maybe just, view it as that, an experiment. You don't have to commit to it, but as you make your dinacharya this week, as you make your daily schedule and really get organized with your goals and what you're going to bring into being, because that's what we're really focusing on with Own Your Fire this week, is like the brass tacks. How do we actually make our vision manifest? Well, there's practical work behind that. Like you got to put in some elbow grease to make things happen. You got to create, some kind of structure around how you're going to funnel your time and your energy. So your time and your energy, your investment has the most bang for its buck, and you're not just kind of wasting time, all right? Ooh, looks like some secrets are coming out this week, collective, all right? I'm just kind of getting this deck prepared before I do the shuffle. Looks like you may even discover some secrets about yourself. Yes. I love the way that came out. I think it's a time of experimentation. Yeah, a lot of secretive energy at the forefront. So you can ask questions at the end of this live. All right. If you have any questions, we're definitely dealing with love. We're definitely looking at love relationships past. I say that because in this particular deck, this two of hearts got bent, which for me has kind of become a symbol of like separation or some kind of frisson, some kind of fracturing of a love relationship, a soulmate relationship. So it looks like we're looking at love. And it's fitting because later on this month, we are going to have Venus go retrograde into the sign of Leo. I'm going to do a whole separate reading series on that for you all. But you're already going to be feeling it, you know, because we always get pre-shadow and post-shadow with these retrograde cycles. So you might notice nostalgia picking up a little bit more. You might be reflecting on your past relationships, how that's influencing your present views of love and possibilities, how it's affecting your present love relationships. You might even be just reflecting on past cycles in a present relationship, really thinking about what works, what doesn't work. But I like how this piece about type came in. And I do feel like there are a lot of you out there, especially with everything that happened over the past few years, that have been single for a while, you know, and maybe you've gotten really comfortable being on your own, and that's great. It's wonderful. And I think you've enjoyed having the alone time on a certain level, but I also feel in the collective, there's a desire to really get to that place of reconnecting again. At the same time, maybe feeling a little bit weary, like, I don't know, I've already been through a lot of stress. Last thing I need is more stress, you know, from some kind of love relationship going awry. But I think more of you are moving into that daring space. You're ready to move forward. You're ready to step into the new, and you're ready to start exploring. And so right off the bat, it's like Spirit wanted to bring in this piece for all of you about, you know, forget the type. Can you just go with the flow? Can you ditch your type, and can you instead just like open your mind to possibilities and just see what comes your way? You know, you might like what you discover. Bottom of the deck energy, the kiss up. Okay, so I do feel like in tandem, and this has been coming up quite a bit, there is some kiss up energy around the collective, all right? It's particularly coming through the form of like some kind of gift coming in, or some kind of tangible support, like, yeah, I want to make up with you. And look, right as I said, that happiness came out on the deck. I do think there is some gift coming in this week for the collective. It's something that's a gift from Spirit. Maybe things have become a little monotonous for you. It just seems like the same old thing day after day. You've been feeling a little bored, a little apathetic, and all of a sudden something comes in. It comes in as a bright spot, all right? It gives some happiness. It is something that's blessed up by Spirit, that it's interesting with that bottom of the deck energy. There is a little kind of like kiss up. There's a little kiss up vibe around it. So it could be like somebody that you've had a falling out with, or you guys had some issues, or, you know, there's been something that went down in your connection. Maybe you haven't heard from each other for a long time. You've been separated from each other, something along these lines. But they're coming in, and maybe they're offering some kind of gift. They want to make things right. And just as I said that, a card fell on the floor. So this is what we can't see about this when it comes in. Comes in as a crossing influence. Ooh, this is on its way. So whoever is coming in, they do play an important role in your future. We see that with the 33 master number there. 33 master number is a building block for the future. It's on the way to making something manifest. With that 3 energy coming in, it's making me think mind, body, spirit. I feel like both of you have done a lot of healing work. You've really been integrating your experiences in your relationship, in life in general. This has the feel of somebody who's really been doing the work, like doing the emotional work, doing the spiritual work. For some of you, it may be that you both, or one of you, has been in a recovery process or doing some kind of therapy, some kind of counseling. But this speaks of, you know, transformation of emotions in this situation. I see that ocean, and it makes me think of ocean of emotion. And snakes are all about transformation. Snake medicine is also about a couple other things that people don't instantly think of. They always think of the shedding of old skins, you know, and, you know, that kind of imbibing a bit of the poison to arrive at the cure. And this is certainly coming in to this right here, all right? It's definitely an influence. But there's also another piece of snake medicine, which is about subtlety. It's about noticing the deeper energetic undercurrent that's running through our lives and within our connections. Snake medicine also requires that we take things slowly. You know, you have to slow everything down. I don't know if you've ever held a snake, but if you've ever held a snake, they're very sensitive to the vibrational energy. And so you can't have any like rapid movements when you're holding a snake because you'll frighten them. All right. So everything is very subtle, you know, you have to kind of be more quiet. You have to be more calm and everything slows down. There's a lot of patience that comes through when we're looking at snake medicine. So I feel that this is really speaking to you've been through. Hello, good to see you. You're right on time. I think this really speaks to whatever relationship we're healing because it feels like it's an opportunity for healing that's going to be coming in. I'm so glad you did. It's so good to see you. When we're tapping into this energy, what we're looking at, this has been a long time coming. Like you both have been through your own like deep healing, emotional integration process, maybe even around your relationship with each other. Okay. But there's been a lot of deep work that's been happening here to bring everything into balance, mind, body, spirit. You know what? Everybody's rocking and rolling. It's the time for it. There's a lot of towers falling. There's a lot of awareness that's coming forward. You know, people are seeing things that they weren't able to see before. Jer is saying here that, you know, they're feeling emotional as fuck, man, you know, and I think a lot of us can really relate to that. You know, there's a lot we're sorting through. We're closing a major chapter in our lives and we're preparing to open up a new chapter. Everything's unknown. Everything's very unknown in the world, just in general. You know, like it's anybody's guess how things will turn out, and we're all doing our best to move through it. After a lot of destabilization, that's been part of our reality since 2020. So I think we're all trying to get our sea legs. And we're about to have that Venus retrograde, you know, coming later, just, you know, coming later next week. Actually, at the tail end of next week, Venus goes retrograde into Leo. So, you know, it's going to be a ride. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming around the bend, but you know, I feel like now it's like we've been doing this inner work and it's been taking a lot of time. We've all been in that Scorpio South node. We've been really integrating the heavy experiences around our relationships. We've been really integrating the heavy experiences around love. And there's this piece here about, okay, you've done the inner work. Are you ready for the outer work? And I feel that's this gift that's coming in. And again, I think that the person's coming around, like they know that it's like, it's got a little bit like a dog with the tail in between the legs. Like, I know that things didn't go right back there, but I need to talk to you. I want to connect with you. So it feels like the advance may be a little trepidatious, you know. I think the person advancing is nervous. They're already nervous. They're already afraid that they're not going to get the best reception. They don't know how it's going to go. I think they're going to try to sweeten the pot. There's a little kiss up energy around it, okay? So I do feel like they might give a little gift or like a little token as just an opener. And with the snake medicine here, as you dive into these emotional waters with another, whoever is going to be on the other side of that table with you, it's important you remember that piece about snake medicine because they might be expecting the fang side of the snake. You know what I'm saying? As they go to approach you to transform this connection and whatever that looks like, all right? We don't know how it looks, right? You might have an old love come forward to you. They want to work through things with you. They may desire reconnection romantically. And yet, as you enter into this process of healing things with each other, your connection may very well transform because that was then, this is now. So there's a lot of openness that's required in these experiences, a lot of willingness to just hold space. Okay, let's work through this. Let's open ourselves to this opportunity for reconnection. Let's open ourselves to this opportunity for healing, but let's not put a box around it. Let's not label what it is. Let's not put that box of the type of reconnection it has to be. Let's just be open and let's just see. And there's also the piece of like, be very sensitive, okay? Because I feel like whoever's coming towards you, they had to work up the courage to get to the point where they could like shoot this shot. And they do feel like they're shooting for the moon. Like there's a part of this that it feels like and almost an impossibility. Maybe they never even anticipated there would be an opportunity put on the table to like heal this or work through this. So it's really taken a lot for this person to gain the courage to even make this advance. So please be sensitive to it, no matter the experience. We all know what it's like when maybe we've made a mistake and we have to take accountability, or when we really want to get something on the right page, but we know we could have, we could have handled ourselves better back there. I mean, some of you are the ones who will be making the advance. So it works on both sides when we're looking at it collectively. So it's just be sensitive, be gentle. Don't immediately like start reading this person the riot act about what happened back there. This person is, they might be kissing up a little bit, and you'll know that, and it's okay. They're just trying to kind of like, my intentions are good, is what they're trying to put forward here. All right, it is a little bit of a manipulation, but give people time. Give people time to work through things. We're all operating on the level that, we're most comfortable with as we step into these uncomfortable areas. So be patient, hold some space, hold some sensitivity. There's definitely emotional transformation on offer in this situation. I also feel like there's movement forward possible here. And also, this could be a real kind of playful experience too. I think there is this desire to bring in a little of that Sagittarian energy. Like, can we move into some expansion? Like where we've been at, it's felt too constrictive for too long. Can we like shake it up? Can we look at things in a new way? Can we open up a bit? Because Sagittarius is very expansive. It's possible too with that Sagittarius energy. It could be somebody who's at a distance from you, or maybe there's just been a lot of distance, between you emotionally. And so there's a lot to bridge here, okay? But I think you both feel this connection. We see back here, there's a wolf in the distance, and that wolf is howling at that moon. You both have that same objective, you both are, looking toward that moon as the focal point. So, you're not so far apart in your objectives as you may think initially, all right? And when I think of the moon, I further think of the emotional, I think of the spiritual, I think of that which lights up the darkness, and it's also the moon's energy, that lunar essence. It's different than the solar energy that is really a forefront of what's coming in. We're looking at more of like the subtle, like cooling, soothing, emotional, response. It's a more tempering kind of energy. It's also a very psychic kind of energy. And I think you do feel strong. You feel kindred connection with this person. There's a spiritual connection with this person. And it's no accident that they're reaching out to you either. There's a reason they're reaching out to you right now. You both feel the energetic connection. You both feel the pull. There is some distance to cover here. But if you shoot the shot, and you're willing to go through the phases of growth, notice those lunar cycle phases here. This is giving me big super moon energy. Okay, so you might really see this really pop off and go places, or maybe even you might be going places with the full super moon in Aquarius that's coming up on August 1st. Okay, so right now we're in the middle of our first of the super moon lunar cycles. It got kicked off on July 3rd with a super moon in Capricorn. All right, so we got that Aquarius energy coming in with the super moon, and this is a really important time. Because right in the middle, we're heading up to it, okay? We're heading up to it next week. Right in the middle of all this action, next Tuesday, after we have the new moon on Monday in Cancer, the very next day when that new moon heads into its light building phase, it enters the sign of Leo, and we got the changing of the nodes of destiny. So this is why everybody's feeling so much, right? Let's see here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, to work through. There's a lot of stuff to work through, and people are very activated, and yeah, energetically, you can feel when somebody is like still tapped into you, right? You can feel it because we're all energy. So energy doesn't lie. Energy never lies, all right? I would just say, be patient, be patient and just let things unfold, give it some time. There's something's transforming here emotionally, all right? And when we have Venus retrograde energy going on, there's going to be this stuff coming back around the bend. That's what happens, okay? But this looks like the main action, that's coming up for the collective right now is this buildup, to that Aquarius supermoon on August 1st. Big Leo energy, big Leo vibes. You just brought Leo in. So, very significant here. Also big Aquarius energy with that supermoon, Capricorn energy as well. Sagittarius, you might be dealing with any of these signs. When I bring in the signs, we are looking at any significant placement in the chart, okay? Sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, or even just a significant placement in a house, a loaded house. And we also need to be mindful that we all do have all the signs present in our charts, even if we don't have placements, because we still have the houses of those signs there. And it's important to get to know your chart. It's important. I feel this piece coming in too. The more that you can understand your own chart and how you kind of move, how you kind of operate, maybe this might even be kind of a cool jump off point for somebody that you're doing any kind of healing work with. Like maybe you can look at your composite charts, put your charts together, see where you have squares, see where you have challenging aspects with each other. It can help you overcome some of those roadblocks. But astrology has been coming up very front and center lately for the collective, that the more you can understand your chart, the better off you'll be. Another thing that's very helpful about understanding the chart is to look at the progress chart. Because what's going on in your chart in its progress nature can be very different from, your natal chart, what you came in with. And you get to look at the transits and all of this. So you get to really move in harmony with nature, just like, those planets aren't static, nothing is static out there in the multiverse, all right? You're not static either. You're also changing, evolving. Your relationships are changing and evolving too. And this can help both of you move through these cycles. But it can also help you to just understand who you are, where your blind spots are, where your challenges are, so you can, bring your full self to the table. Hey, good to see you, Angela. We're just doing like a mystery wild card read, and it looks like it's all about love, okay? So you'll have to drop in to pick up the opener on this one, but just as I bring that in, look, ooh, love. No, let's not talk about love. It's like the blockages coming up. We got, Venus retrograde is coming up at the tail end of next week, and it's retrograding in Leo, so big light, being shined on the loves of our past. What's been hidden in the dark too is going to be revealed about some of those past connections. And you also got, there's somebody from the past that wants to reconnect. There's somebody that you've been having some kind of distance from, that, either geographical or emotional, that wants to bridge that gap. You both feel energetically connected to each other. You both have the same goal. You both have been growing. You both have been doing like your inner work. But there's a lot to transform here. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of activation. Okay. And there's really, Libra is front and center. I mean, Libra is going to take over the South Node on the 18th, and Aries takes over the North Node. So here we go again. We have the polarity, right? The Mars-Venus polarity that's been going on for so long. But the beauty about that is where we had like this combative energy between Mars and Venus all last year, we got different action going on now. Now Mars and Venus are like, You know, they're coming together in sync at that 0 point, which is the alpha omega point, where that masculine provides the avenue for the feminine creative energy to come through and birth a new beginning. So this is positive, okay? Very, very positive. All you can see are your comments. I don't know why all you can see are your comments. Huh, that's interesting. Well, I don't know. I mean, I see all your comments here. I'm seeing everybody's comments, so I don't know. Might be a delay or something. That could be a YouTube thing. It's possible. That could be a YouTube thing. It's interesting when this person approaches, and, you know, I feel like they're going to approach with a kiss up energy. The kiss up energy may even be like a trip. Like maybe they want to take you somewhere. Maybe they want to take you on a trip. Maybe they want to, you know, have some fun with you. Something along these lines, okay? But when they come in, you know, this is pretty significant. This is pretty significant. And I think you're going to have a little like trepidation about it. All right, collective, you're going to feel like, I don't know, because there might be a big part of you that's like, here we go again, you know. This might feel like a monkey on your back. This might be somebody that, you know, you've gone through this, you know, with them over and over and over and over again. It's been the same old song and dance over and over and over again. I think, you know, that piece that opened in just when I was first dropping in about like ditching the type. It's like, you don't want the same type of love experience that you had before. You're sick and tired of the same old story. So the thing is that if you want something new, or if you want a different level of connection, and you're tired of having the same type of experiences, you have a couple choices in that matter. First of all, it's important to note, like, what is the spirit that this person is approaching you in? Are they approaching you from the standpoint of, you know, oh, I just want to sweep everything under the rug, you know, oh, come on, like, that was then, this is now, like, let's just work it out. We don't need to talk about what happened back there. That's not going to be constructive. That's going to be like same old, same old. You know, you're not going to get anywhere with that. With this energy that's coming in, it's really requiring that we look at things truthfully, that we deal with each other from a transparent place, that we shine a light on what's kind of been hidden or holding us back. It is big exposure energy. It is big spill the secrets kind of energy. And there's this thing, I can't remember, some yogi did a satsang on this. They called it the fire test of truth, but they were saying that any relationship, love relationship worth its salt, has to really first face the fire test of truth. And that means you got to be able to like look at the ugly, you know? You have to be able to look at the ugly, and you have to be able to face it honestly. And if you can't get through that, then, you know, it ain't the real deal. And I feel like that's sort of what's being put to the test. Our connections are being put to the test right now. Like, can your relationships weather the weight of radical authenticity? And that's the only kind of connections that really can be invested in. If you're dealing with somebody who wants to sweep things under the rug, you know, you're welcome to sign up for that karmic rodeo and get bucked off that steer yet again. Some of you may be dealing with a Taurus. Some of you may be dealing with, you know, somebody born in the year of the ox. Some of you may be dealing with somebody very stubborn. Also here, I see horse, snake, and dog signs for Chinese astrology, okay? Monkey too, all right? Monkey too. So yeah, look into that. It's been interesting. Chinese astrology has been coming in a lot recently. So that might be something to explore as well. You know, Chinese astrology has a little bit different a take. But yes, look, we got cats here. Okay, so with the cats, this card is all about secrecy. And look at the wet food. It's there. It's a little sus. Even the cats aren't touching it. They're like, I don't know, you know. And here's the thing, you know, you could have been dealing with somebody who had lots of options. Maybe lots of options were the problem in your connection. Maybe that's why when they come forward with this gift, it looks like some fancy feast, but I don't know. It might be like one of those, like, I don't know, this thing looks like it's been open for a while. It's like dried out. I don't know if I want to touch that. You also may be wondering if there's other people hanging around still attached to this person, okay? And there are secrets here. We know that, before you can come into alignment with that 11 energy, and I feel like whoever you are receiving this message, you're wanting to come into alignment with like your mirror, like you're wanting the other, you're not wanting the others. I mean, unless you're in a polyamorous dynamic that works for you, and regardless, however you approach your romantic relationships, you're wanting the honesty, you're wanting the transparency, you're wanting there to be a certain level of, investment in the connection, and for it to be real and things to be above board. And there's secrets here. There are secrets here, okay? And for a lot of you, those secrets involve other people that have been involved in your situation in the past, that have caused a problem. This can also be, there's a lot of people kind of like spying as well, kind of keeping an eye on the situation. It's interesting, Jerry, you brought in that piece, like I can feel like they're keeping an eye on me on social media. And yes, that energy very heavy, also catfish energy, also fake account energy, keeping tabs, under the guise that, oh, I'm a new friend. No, it ain't a new friend. It's that same person, you knew before. They're just too chicken to actually approach you and be authentic. So this is kind of like out with it kind of energy, very strongly. It's also, if you're going to choose to open up to a healing experience, and it was 37:11 on the clock when I said that, so that's 10:11. It's letting you know what needs to happen in order for these relationships to come into alignment. First of all, 10 is the ending of the old cycle. You have to end the old cycle before you can begin the new one. And ending the old cycle brings gifts. It brings spiritual gifts that maybe can't be seen right now. And that's what people have a lot of trouble with at this time. It's that letting go. It's our sticking point. There's a need to let go, release, and open up something brand new, completely unknown. You don't know where this thing is going to go, and you can't control it. You have to understand with the relationships, the connections coming in, the soulmates coming around at this time, it's like other level. There's a lot of spiritual energy backing it. There's a lot of synchronicity around it. There's a lot of fate, and can it be spun into destiny? You can absolutely make fate the hand you're dealt, your destiny, like your sweet reward. But in order for that to happen, you really have to be willing to be open, to be led. You can't control the experience. You got to let the magic weave through the connection. And at the same point, you also have to be very honest about what's happening here. There can't be secrets. So this is not talking about somebody coming around not wanting to do the work, not wanting to be honest, just wanting to kiss up to you, make it look really good in the outer package, but you open it up and you find a box full of darkness. That's not what we're talking about. You were supposed to have plucked the light that came through that box of darkness from what you were through before. And I think a lot of these connections are coming around for people to have like a final closure, a clearing, so they can really release it and they can move forward into the future, into the new, and actually be open to a different type of relationship, and to kind of break their stereotypes about like, well, I only go for this type of person. Like, I hear this from women a lot, okay? And I've been guilty of it myself in the past, In the past, I used to say, well, I kind of like a guy who's an asshole. Like, I kind of like to go for the dick, I kind of like that kind of guy. I like the cockiness, but as long as they're just not that way to me. But here's the thing. If somebody's an asshole, they're an asshole. And eventually they're going to be an asshole to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, whatever your story is, whatever type that you've gone for in the past is kind of like kept you in the same cycle, just maybe it's been different people, but it's been the same type of experience, the same type of relationship over and over again. This is about, no, it's time to like really understand what is about that too. Why do I keep repeating this? Why did I keep creating this kind of situation for myself? That's a secret you need to reveal to yourself. I believe this process, like this healing process, it also allows you to learn stuff about yourself and the way you sabotaged yourself as well, because you have a part to play. Also, it's unfair. You know, a lot of times we have really negative experiences in love, then we go and we meet somebody new and we just like superimpose our old lover over them like a color form. You remember color forms, those Generation Xers out there, you know? It's like, peel that facade off that old love and I'm just going to put that right on you, you know? And it's like you deal with them as if they were the same person back there, you know? And for some of you, you know, that do have a relationship coming back around for healing as well, you can't do that either. You can't superimpose the past onto who they are now, because we're all growing, right? I mean, look at yourself. You've grown, haven't you? I know I'm not the same person I was a few years ago, right? I hope you're not the same person you were a few years ago. I mean, we're here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to evolve. So yes, projection. And projection is going to be front and center, right? So this is very important that we own the way we've projected in the past, and that we also cast off the projections and not personalize the projections that other people put on us. I say this because you may bump up against this, you know, after you get through this like little sweet spot, like, oh, how nice, you know, it's good to hear from you. And maybe you've been wanting to hear from this person, or maybe you've been wanting to reconnect with this person. And so you're excited when they do reach out, okay? And it's even better because, oh, wow, they come bearing gifts, you know, or, you know, they come, you know, bringing some sweetness with them too, like something that sort of adds a bright spot. But yeah, that's just the opener, all right, you know, and don't let it just be the opener when the real meat of the experience is just being left there exposed to like dry out and go to waste, because you ain't gonna want to eat that if you let it sit too long. That connection is going to just degrade back to where it was before. All right. So this is about you know, nice opener, and let's establish some things right off the bat. First of all, if you really want to open up to this experience with me, we need to get real. And that means we're going to have to go to some places where it's not going to be comfortable. And if you're not open to talking about what happened back there, and if you're not open to like coming clean, and that means both of us, and really holding the space for that in a mature way, where we're not attacking each other, where we're not getting reactive, where we're having a kind of conversation with each other that really allows each of us to have our truth witnessed, you know, held respectfully, even if it's hard to receive, right? You got to be willing to do that work, you know, especially in the case of if you suspected that there was cheating, you know, you got to be willing to receive that truth, you know, and not bite the person's head off. You got to remember, you get to choose, you know, if you're going to let this person back into your life or not. It's up to you, you know, vice versa, depending on how the exchange goes, you know, between you two, they may decide it's not worth it for them either. Right. So now's the time to really start it off on a strong foundation and not avoid what needs to be looked at if you have hope of this healing. But the fact that this says kindred, the fact that it comes in with a 33, which is a master number, all about building block for manifestation, it shows a lot of propensity for healing. 6 energy shows that, you know, you've got to have vision in this situation, that, you know, there might be some heaviness to sort through, but there is light on the other side of that, okay? And that's right. Acceptance doesn't equal forgiveness. A lot of people need to understand that. Acceptance doesn't equal forgiveness. And that's why I think, you know, this came in recently, and I feel like it's super important for the collective. I feel like this is a very essential piece that as we're moving into this cycle, don't look at it like, I'm working to get back together with my ex, okay? For those of you who are going to have past loves come around, or you do hear from an ex, you know, don't automatically assume that that's what the connection is about. A far more beneficial kind of focus to have with anybody that you dealt with in the past at this time is, let's commit to healing, and whatever that looks like. Let's open up this discussion, and let's agree to be, respectful around each other's experience, around each other's truth, even when it gets difficult or thorny. And when it gets difficult or thorny, let's not just keep going at it and have it degrade into an argument and we end up back in the same spot. Let's take a breath, okay? Let's take a breather. Let's take some breathing room, all right? Let's put the conversation on hold, for a week or two or however long to integrate whatever truth landed, right? Some of these truths, a lot of sentience here. Some of these truths that are going to land are going to be like, you may have suspected. Here's the thing. You can intuit something, all right, all the live long day, but then when somebody confirms it, it hits different. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as you're intuiting it and you haven't gotten that like hardcore like verification that, yeah, what you were feeling was accurate, it lands different. It does. It's a tower, okay? Because in the meantime, it's all open for speculation. So do you see there's like that little buffering room there where you're like, well, I feel like this happened, but I still don't know for sure. So it kind of like, it buffers you from that tower falling too. You know what I'm saying? Because it leaves this little room there where you can be like, well, maybe I'm not right about that though. Maybe I'm not seeing that accurately. And that's significant because that can keep us living in la land and not looking at things as they are. So when these truths come out for one or both of you, okay, it's going to hit like a tower, and you may need to pace yourselves. You may need to be patient. It may be this kind of like dance of like coming together, coming apart, coming together, coming apart, and being okay with the spaces, being okay with the pauses. The pauses at this time are pregnant. Like there's a lot happening in the pauses of these dynamics. What's crossing this? What flew out? Yeah, this is somebody that you were involved with in the past with the lilies here, okay? It's been a long time since you've heard from this person. This was also a very magical connection. Like when you came together with this person, there was just, this person's different. They're unlike anybody you've ever been with before, okay? And you have a lot of fond memories with this person. With the lilies here, there's a lot of remembrance here. There's a lot of nostalgia. And what you tend to focus on when you look back at this person with where you are now, at your vantage point now, you look at all the beauty, you look at all the magic, you remember all the times that you felt so alive and like that newness of the connection. That's what you're remembering. That's what you're nostalgic for. That's what Venus does. When Venus is going retrograde, Venus, puts on the rose-colored glasses and, with it retrograde in Leo's all about pleasure, right? Leo's all about like the lighter, funner side of life. So we have to understand that there's a tendency where we could just get so swept up in like, oh, they've reached out to me, and just kind of like the happiness of that moment, the lift it brings, the way it kind of like, yeah, the way they made you feel, let that be like this break in your monotony where you lose your senses and then, oh, here come the rose-colored glasses again, because you have to remember a death happened here. Okay? There was something real heavy that happened in this situation. And this is great, and yeah, can you get to the magic of this experience again? You might be able to. And there is something magical happening here, because anytime we enter some kind of transformational healing process, there's magic in that. And anything can happen. Anything is possible, okay? But there's this piece here about there hasn't been respect held around the darkness in this connection. What happened back there and what still remains to be closed out. Because let's not forget, we are closing out the Scorpio South Node, right? We got to get all of that wrapped up if we want to head into the new cycle. And we don't want to get caught down in that South Node being weighed out in the scales of Libra. Right? We don't want to deal with that. Do you want another round of the same karmic cycle? Okay, so there really has to be this willingness and commitment to doing what needs to be done It's not fun. Okay. It's not exciting. It's hard. It's hard work looking at that stuff, integrating those experiences singularly, on our own. But when you're looking at doing that with another, it's intense. Okay. So you're going to be going over old ground. It's necessary. And with Leo, hosting that Venus retrograde, there's like a big light shine on that. And we're going to be in that Venus retrograde cycle for a while, clear into the fall. But once we head into the fall, it's like the light building energy. All right. It's going to be a big harvest season this fall. Big harvest season. We're going to be moving out of, the eclipse energy. That's when all the lights will come on in the room. We'll finally really see the truth of things as they are. We'll finally have a sense of meaning, understanding around why we went through what we went through back there, and the light that was able to build through that, what comes out the other side once we get to October 14th. Okay. So I really see a big harvest, but it's like, I feel like though this person may come in with kiss up energy, the true gift comes through. Interesting. I love how spirit delivers that. The true gift comes through the monotony. Okay. The true gift comes through doing the work, and it's like, oh gosh, do we really have to go over this? I know it's good for us, but can we just get to the fun part? I'm telling you, if you bypass this work, it's just going to keep you in a karmic loop. So you'll know right off the bat when this person approaches you, even if they do feel like kindred to you, if they do feel like, we got a soul connection here, man, here's my soulmate. You'll know right off the bat if this person is legit according to their willingness to do the work, to do the heavy stuff, to do the heavy lifting. And if they're not, then that ain't it, then okay, and maybe that's all you need, just to know, like, this person can't meet me in this place. This person can't go there with me. They can't come along for that ride. They can't come along for this next leg of my journey because I'm committed to my growth. I want to grow. I want to evolve. I'm not willing to stay stuck and stagnant. So if that's the case, you still can have something that's a gift, that comes out of this situation. You can still receive a gift and, receiving, whatever they bring forward and letting them know, like, it's cool, we're cool and I wish you well. And, I'll always remember the good times, whatever, and you can close it up neat. You can wrap it up neatly. You can put a little bow on it and you can send it on its way. Okay. And then it allows you the freedom to move forward unencumbered. So that's why it's so good to have openness during this time, because it's like, well, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. They don't know. You all don't know. It just has to be this willingness to be spontaneous, go with the flow, and the creative process, the partnership of what it means to, like, work through a challenge in a relationship. So often we make it about drama and stress and, but there's a creative way to move through experiences. And there's also a medium, you can use in that experience that can create something beautiful out of the experience if you know how to hold the right space around it. So I feel like it's important to really establish this up front. Don't just get caught up in the moment where you're just like, okay, going along for the ride, that you don't, like, really make this clear from the outset. Because with being sandwiched in, the eclipses at the same time with the supermoon energy, the brighter the light, the darker the shadow. Okay. It's not going to serve you to just, like, go along for the ride and, like, oh, we'll deal with it later. No, it's really important that this thing gets established with proper boundaries and, like, the foundation right off the bat, if it's going to have something really come out of the experience that will make you glad, that you really invested your time and energy in it. Otherwise, you're going to set yourself up in the same old karmic loop. Now, what do we got here? Yeah. Queen in reverse. Okay. Queen in reverse. Look at that hawk medicine. Okay. Hawk medicine is all about having the bird's eye view. It's also about pay attention to the signs. because everything's speaking to you right now. Like spirit is speaking to you right now. When you're out and about day to day, you know, running your errands, doing the same old, spirit is speaking to you, but you're not paying attention. And some of you, this was the problem in the past that led to you losing your crown. All right. And you know, it took a long time for you to get back to the place where you could like remember who you were, you know, feel good about who you are, straighten your crown. It took you a long time. And that's what you're supposed to be doing right now, collective. We're all supposed to be rising up in that Taurus North node where we really value ourselves, where we've learned our lessons, integrated our lessons. We know our worth. We know what's worthy of our time, our energy, our investment. So don't lose your head now, okay? You need to pay attention. In the past, what may have sabotaged you is you ignored red flags. What red flag? I didn't see that. I didn't see that. What are you talking about? All I know is we got great chemistry, man. You know, all I know is, you know, they're running that big D energy, you know, whatever, you know, all I know is they do it for me. Well, you know, what red flag, you know, it can make you stupid sometimes, that chemistry, those endorphins, you know, the oxytocin, you know, all of that, it can make you stupid sometimes where you're just like, yeah, you know, we're going to ignore that red flag because, damn, it's just so good, right? Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head. And do, you know, be mindful. Pay attention to the signs because they're going to be all around you, but there is the opportunity here for you to really like lose your head because you're caught up in the moment. You're excited to hear from this person. Exactly. You're excited to hear from this person. Okay. You're thinking about, you know, the devil D, which makes you go a little back into that Scorpio self node. You know, Scorpio loves the devil D energy. Okay. You're thinking about that. You might be more motivated from the nether regions, you know, that might be what's kind of like drawing you forward or enticing you. But you got to be careful. All right. Be mindful. It's so important. Don't lose your head. You lose your head, look at this. Look what else is in reverse, right? That 2 energy, the coming together with your other, all right? Don't set yourself up. I think we're going to do a cut of the deck on this, and then I want to pull out some other cards just because it feels like fun. What do we got here? Yeah, lightning, okay? You're not expecting this. Oh, well, that was a sign for you, okay? You're not expecting this. When this comes in, look, 7 energy, okay? And the 2 energy. This is somebody that you've been involved with before. It's not, you know, nothing you haven't dealt with before. For some of you, I am getting the message, like some of you have been single for like a really, really long time. You're like in full on like, you know, I'm an eternal bachelor mode, or you're like, I'm just going to be the crazy cat lady kind of mode, and I'm cool with it. Like some of you got burned real bad in your last situation. So you've just been totally single on your own. Maybe it's been a while. Some of you have even been celibate for a while. When this comes in, whether it's somebody you know or just the possibility of like moving back into the dating pool again, it's like it shocks you. But this is like something that comes in from spirit. It takes you by surprise, though. It's an electrifying experience. Every time I see this card, it makes me think of The Cure, hot, hot, hot. I think this connection is hot, hot, hot. But I also think it like zaps you. You know what I'm saying? And like, it zaps you. It, you know, it makes me think of electroshock therapy. Why am I getting all this music? You know, it makes me think of shock treatment, you know? But there's this piece, like it really, like it rocks you. Okay, it rocks you, it shakes you, it comes in unanticipated, and you have no idea what hit you. So ground out a little bit, okay, because there is the potential here also on the other side. See that rat's energy? All right, And there is kiss up energy around this. This has been coming forward very, very strongly, all right? You don't necessarily know what's up yet. And this has been a sabotaging connection in the past. And look, we do have this, third party energy present here too. And I feel there's a lot of this energy in the collective right now where there's like, yeah, there's an opportunity that's coming forward. But at the same time, there's also going to be tests coming forward too. Like, did you learn your lesson? All right. So there's something you need to be aware of here. Is this person really seriously invested? Or as soon as you talk about, hey, I'm open to exploring this with you, but we're not just going to jump into anything. And when you start to put down boundary lines and parameters, are they like off? They're out the door. They go ghost on you. Well, you just averted disaster. Okay. So this is a big piece here. That's why having a sense of, groundedness in the way you enter this exploration is so important. It's also important that you enter it with no expectations, that you also let this person know that they shouldn't have any expectations too, that you're not making them any promises, that you're just open to see what can happen in this situation. I think it's really key. We're going to do one more pass here with the cards. We're going to bring in the Angel Tarot for some guidance. Bottom of the deck, look. I'm telling you, it's a tower, okay? Because right here, we got the tower with Uriel, bottom of the deck energy, and it says disruption, warns of disasters, and aids in transformation. So this is, something disruptive. When it comes in, it's going to shake you up. And I think of that disruption, I feel like internally, it's like at first it excites you. But you have to remember, it's also going to be activating. It'll be like triggering. It's going to push your buttons because it's going to bring up for you everything you went through before. Okay, so that's when projection can be at an all-time high. That's when you can have these problems surface. So it's important you don't just like dive headfirst into this thing. By establishing kind of like, some boundaries right out the gate, you can avoid disaster, all right? And that will assist you in transforming this situation. And then you can really have a mind-blowing experience. A tower can be cathartic. It can like just totally obliterate like an old way of seeing things. It can tear down belief structures, and it can really be a radical opportunity for growth. It's very much aligned with Mars energy, yes, but there's a bit of Uranus energy operating there too. It's like that unexpected thing that comes, it like shakes everything up, but it can shake it up in the most wonderful way if you establish like proper foundations there, okay? Yeah, to one of your favorite albums. Yeah, I don't know why the music stuff is coming in. You might be dealing with somebody who has a musical background. They might be a musician. You might connect with this person when you're like out at a show or something like that. Or maybe there's just something significant, maybe even something significant about the music you're listening to or the song that's playing when you two meet up. Or I don't know why that piece came in so strongly, but it did. They might be a musician. There might be some music connection there. Just the way that came in was kind of interesting. Yeah, we got 6 of Pentacles is what came out here. So we know there's an opportunity for give and take, but also when we look at Pentacles energy, it's very practical, right? It's like we got to do the work. There's practical work to do here. And it can't be just one of us invested in that. We have to make sure we're on the same page. Are we on the same page that we're actually going to invest in doing this work? And then there's the other piece of you can't like rush the timeline. So, okay, they agree to it because they just want to make everything better. Okay, we've made up. That's great. Now let's just dive in. No. We're going to ease into this. All right. You understand how this can help you like prevent disasters. It also gives you time to really integrate the experience, integrate your own shadow projection so you don't sabotage it. And same thing for them. And also for you all to feel out, like, is this connection really worthy of investment? Because if it is, you both will be willing to stick through those uncomfortable parts, You'll be willing to do what's necessary to take space when it's needed without, feeling overly attached or moving into a panic, So And this is going to take work to get to the gift of any kind of reunion connection. You can't ignore that part, okay? And it says here, the favorable God, divine grace, cures rage, absolves the guilty, okay? So again, you know, if you don't push things too fast, then you prevent this sort of like activating each other, like, you know, pushing each other's buttons where things can flare up. And then, you know, that bridge is burned when you were meant to build a bridge to get over what happened in the past and have a new beginning, right? But, you know, if you do this work, it can absolve the guilty as well. So there might be a piece here that you might have made some assumptions that were based on your own projections, you know, in the past. Maybe you didn't have the full story, but as you can move through this, maybe you can get through the other side. Maybe you can find the way to forgiveness, and that's really a beautiful thing. Okay. Any final guidance you want to give for the collective about, it looks like energy that's going to be coming in with the Venus retrograde. I am going to do a Venus retrograde series where I'll do an individual read for each of the signs. Okay, so you'll get your own special read with that. I'll be bringing that in later next week. I still have a couple series that I'm closing out right now that I have to get out because they're the priority that I'm really hoping to have done this week, you know. I don't want them to get too far into the cycle, so look for that Venus retrograde series to kick off right when it actually goes retrograde. Near the tail end of next week, all right? So we'll see what comes in for each of the individual signs, but right now, we're just getting a collective view. Yeah, look at this, the Empress, bottom of the deck energy, and I love that because remember, we had that Queen energy come in the reverse. It's like, yes, don't forget this. You got the knowledge you've gained. Look at the angels standing by that tree of knowledge with the serpent. You've already done a lot of transformational work, and I love how this read opened up with the serpent and it closes with the serpent. And when I think of this serpent, I think of the Kundalini. I think of raising the energy. You know, it's also about the opportunity for connection in this relationship is off the chart. Like, it's a spiritual connection. So, you know, if you can really do this work with somebody and you're able to get to a place where you enter into a relationship consciously like that, free of the garbage of the past, the opportunity to connect. I mean, you thought it was, you know, some devil D before, like the opportunity to connect on that level where you're like entering into Tantra, where sex can be a spiritual experience. That's powerful, right? It says fertility and fruitfulness assures peace between couples, okay? So this is beautiful, all right? This is what's on offer. But how do you receive this? You receive this by staying in that Empress energy, knowing your worth, knowing your value, not settling, all right? And would the Empress like let something slide? Would the Empress ignore a red flag? No, the Empress knows, you know, what it took to become the Empress. Nobody becomes the Empress or the Emperor, all right, overnight. It doesn't work like that. Like, you get dragged through the muck. It's like no mud, no lotus. You get dragged through the muck to rise up into Empress or Emperor, all right? So don't like ignore signs of past cycles wanting to repeat. This is essential. And as long as you don't ignore that, you set the parameters correctly, you ain't going to make a mistake. You're going to find this way to love and transformation and like so much prosperity. You know, it's like a real, like, I got like this verdant energy. Somebody who really knows how to explore your lands, you know, and I don't know, I'm just seeing like lush, you know, greenery, everything flowering. It's just like such a beautiful image. I love it. I love that you picked up on that energy too. See, we're all tapped in, you know, it's all energetics. We're all tapped in. So energy doesn't lie. This piece coming forward very strongly. Energy doesn't lie. So don't ignore the energy of what you're feeling, and you won't lose the gift that's on offer, the real gift, right? Not the kiss up gift that it comes in with. Okay. Any final words? What do you want us to know, angels? As any parting words? Ooh, Yes. Wow. Whoa. This is good. All right. We're going to leave it off with this because this is too good. So what do we got here? We have the Magician. And this is significant because the Magician represents Aries taking over that North Node, which happens next Tuesday. And if you want to tune in for that, I'm going to have Cal Garrison on the broadcast on Tuesday, next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the States here. And it's going to be live. There's opportunity to talk to her. She knows so much about astrology, like OG astrologer. And it's really going to be a great night. So you might want to drop in for that because I'm sure you'll be able to pull something out of it. We'll be doing like a collective read and just dropping in and having some fun. She was on a while back and it was just a really good experience and so much of value came through. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. But it says here, spiritual wisdom and magic helps one gain wisdom and discover hidden secrets. So I feel like, yes, first of all, there's something to be alchemized here when we're looking at the Magician. I do feel like secrets are going to come up and out. A lot of airing out is going to happen. There's stuff that's going to have to be like, you know, integrated from that experience. But there's magic happening here too. And the Magician, when it comes in relation to love relationships, is like the most unbelievable thing happens. Like, no way. Are you for real? And that's the feel of it right now, okay? So it's like the Magician can often be like, you thought there was no way a relationship could bounce back. It does. There's a reunion. It gets reinvigorated and on a different level of experience this time. It can also be like, well, I just thought, you know, that's it. It's just me and these cats. And, you know, I'm never going to find anybody. Maybe love isn't for me. All of a sudden, you know, love comes and it like bonks you upside the head. You're not expecting it. It feels like magic, you know, it feels like, is this a magic trick? Am I being punked? This is for real. This is really happening. So it has that feel, you know, a lot of destiny around here. Ooh, I like this energy. Okay. Look at this fire sign energy coming in very strongly. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So please pay attention to where you have fire in your chart, any placements you have in fire signs. Also, when we're looking at the houses, look at your first house for Aries, look at your fifth house for Leo, and look at your ninth house for Sagittarius, because that's where all the action is going on. And of course, please also look at your North Node, because with that Aries North Node energy coming in, it's fueling the fire for us to enter into our North Node. So if you pay attention in your progress chart to where your North Node is right now, it's going to be so, so helpful for you, okay? Then you'll know how to show up and get the most out of this cycle that we're entering into. The other thing you want to look at is what sign is your true North Node in, because your North Node is being fueled by that Aries fire for you to take the initiative and step forward into the new cycle that way. So if you're curious, like, what do I need to do? How do I need to show up? Look at your North Node and look at it in your progress chart to understand what house it's in, where you're going to feel that influence. It's going to reveal so much to you, okay? I say this about the fire sign energy and paying attention because we have Knight of Wands. Okay, this is the fire coming forward. It's also very passionate, you know, there's purpose, there's drive, there's ambition there with this thing. Whoever's coming towards you, they want this, okay? They want this. And it says protection, prevents discovery of secret crimes, saves and exiles, okay? So like I said, you might have been dealing with a player in the past. So you have to know there was something that went down here, you know, and I think this person has a lot of charisma, you know, they're witty, they're attractive, they're seductive, they have the gift of gab. So they could really like work some circles around this where they can like bypass that part if you let them. And like I said, there's a supreme sexual connection, chemistry here that you need to be aware of with the Queen of Wands energy. Look at it's almost like I feel this two ways. First of all, I feel like to you, it's like something you prayed for. This phrase has been coming in a lot lately, on a wing in a prayer. So I feel like when this happens, you feel like, oh, my prayers have been answered. And so you might just like, we're not gonna look at any of that. I just like the way it sounds. And oh, they look so pretty. You know, it's that kind of energy. That's your blind spot, okay? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. But I also feel like, you know, you got your spirit team here and they're protecting you. They're like, remember, you know, have some boundaries around this. Ease into it. Because, yeah, fire's exciting, right? It stirs you up. It's so alluring, you know, it gets you really into that, like, you know, spontaneous energy where you're like, I just want to give myself over to this. Temper it a little bit. I also feel like air sign energy with all those wings, okay? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And again, Libra taking over South Node, Aries North Node. We got the fire air dynamic going on there, okay? Think about longevity and where this thing can go, okay? So just a little bit of space, a little bit of buffering here. And if you do that, it says divine power guards against mental troubles, okay? This person, they got quite the tongue, okay? Maybe they really do have the tongue. They know how to use their tongue, all right? I mean, it's just coming in. The energy is very sensual. It is. It's very sensual, sexual, and I think it could trip you up because this Queen of Wands energy is like, oh, yeah, I'm in an independent energy. I'm feeling myself. I got my mojo working. You know how to work my mojo, you know. This is somebody who sees the fire in your eyes and they want to play with it, okay? You know what I'm saying? So be mindful, all right? But if you are, there's some opportunity here. Let's do a cut of the deck, see what's on the cut of the deck. Queen of Cups, yeah, don't forget your heart. You see the two rings there, the union energy, okay? Don't forget this piece. Don't forget your heart. Your heart matters, all right? Redemption serves against enemies. Governs chastity. Oh, you didn't want to hear that. Rein in the urge to just jump in bed, okay? Rein it in. Rein it in a little bit. Don't forget your heart. And don't forget your intuition with that Queen of Cups energy. And don't forget the time that you spent in that Scorpio South Node and how you got there in the first place, all right? It's important. Also, water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I feel this is imminent. I feel this is coming in pretty soon. It's really coming in right on almost the cusp of that, you know, Cancer shifting to Leo energy. I feel that very strongly. Some of you may be dealing with Cancer, Leo cuspers, okay? And the other side of that, though, if you take all these steps, 6 of Wands. 6 of Wands. And even if it's like, oh, snap, yeah, I want that real bad, that is my candy. That is my kryptonite. But they're coming with the same old BS, and you have the courage to like be like, you know, oh, it's really nice to hear from you again, and thank you. I'm so glad we got to talk. You know, I wish you well. If you're able to do that, even in that kind of situation, we see it still leads to success, and there is the right person coming into alignment with you. So love is looking good. And some of you are reuniting, but you got to reunite on the right level. With Venus retrograde, old love will be around. That's just going to happen, okay? And we got quite a long stint with it, so do anticipate that. But, you know, whether it can really come back together again in a romantic sense all depends on the way it's entered into. And do be aware that in cases where you're just having a peaceful closure, that's not a loss, because it means by you closing this, the person who can really meet you on the level that you're ready for, they come in. And it says longevity protects against infirmities. Yeah, no more injuries to this heart, you know? No more injuries to this heart. Only what feels good. Only what feels good deep down to our souls. So it looks really good, collective. Thank you so much for dropping in with me today. This was fun. I want to do more of this. Maybe I'll start doing, even after this Own Your Fire round, maybe I'll start doing like a weekly, like just mystery read, and we'll go live with it and see what comes out. And into this creative space together because I had a lot of fun with it. I hope you enjoy this week's lesson in the Own Your Fire course if you're going through that. And information about the course, I'll go ahead and pin it in the comments so you can easily find it. If you haven't accessed it yet, it is free. It's my gift to you. But I really appreciate all of you who showed up. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to go and do a read for a client. So also, I just wanted to say real quick before I sign off here, thank you to all the new subscribers. There's so many new subscribers here, and I appreciate you so much. Welcome to my weird little world. We bring a lot of different stuff here. It's a broad coven for a reason. There's a broad range of interests I like to bring in here, broad conversations. It's all about expansion, okay, and getting out of the box. So I welcome you, and I really appreciate you subscribing. It helps the channel immensely. And to all of you subscribers and all of you who have been here from the start, thank you for co-creating this space with me. It's a really beautiful thing, and it feels so good to have people show up and be open to the messages and bring their voices in. So I really, really appreciate all of you so, so much. And if you haven't subscribed, think about it. It helps things out. And give a thumbs up, comment, all those things. It all helps this get out beyond the algorithm. All right. Have a beautiful day. Take care.